Welcome to Elevate Your Mind, your number one podcast for peak performance strategies that will enhance your mindset, develop your emotional skill set, and maybe, just maybe, be the catalyst to create positive forward momentum in your life. Here's what's to come from today's pod.
They are like an unloyal servant to you. They will lie to you. They will always be there, thoughts and feelings, but they will lie to you. They will be deceitful behind your back. They will show up at times that are completely inconvenient. Boom, and we are live. Welcome back to the podcast. Let's get cracking straight away, shall we? This particular episode, thoughts and feelings. Thoughts and feelings. The things that you obsess over. The things that you get so caught up in that you spend all day monitoring, scanning, analysing, scrutinising, overthinking. Thoughts and feelings. Write this down. Matt doesn't care about thoughts and feelings. I do, but thoughts and feelings is like, it's like trying to lose weight and taking the batter off a chicken ball. I heard that from one of my favourite comedians, and it's true that you're just trying to do the bare minimum to try and deal with the underlying issue here. Ultimately, if we want to be able to move past certain limitations with our emotions, thoughts and feelings, and monitoring those thoughts and feelings is not going to be your answer and way of how you're going to do that. How you're going to do that in your life is by taking a deeper emotional control. And in this particular episode, I'm going to focus on those thoughts and feelings to show you how simple it is to change certain thoughts and feelings. Because you can change any thought, any feeling. All you have to do is change the quality of those thoughts and feelings. And I'm going to show you this today, okay? So before we go any further in this particular episode, if you are new here, podcast, YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're following, because you want to stay up to date with this. This is maybe our 46th, 47th episode maybe here now, and we've got so much happening, so much going on, so much that's approaching at the moment that we're getting close to our 50th episode, and my 50th episode on this podcast will also coincide with my 100th 10-minute Tuesday, and you are not going to want to miss that. Believe you me, you are not going to want to miss that, because I've got a hell of a exciting venture coming your way when it comes to this particular area. So I'll save that for another day. But hey ho, today, thoughts and feelings. So you see, people obsess. They spend so much effort, energy and emotion obsessing over these thoughts, what if this happens, or how am I going to deal with this, and what about if and then, what about that feeling, and I've just felt something in my shoulder, and what's that in my heart, and is that something in my head? People obsessing over these things. Why? Well, what ultimately you're doing is you're looking for a safety, you're looking for a certainty, you're looking for control, you're looking for security. And to say that, what if that happens? I've got a contingency in place. That's what your brain's looking for. Or with that feeling, or let me just get it double checked. But definitely write this down, unless you're driving. Thoughts and feelings are fickle. Thoughts and feelings are fickle. And they are like an unloyal servant to you. They will lie to you. They will always be there, thoughts and feelings, but they will lie to you. They will be deceitful behind your back. They will show up at times that are completely inconvenient, but they'll always be there, like an unloyal servant is. And so when it comes to these particular emotions and feelings that you're feeling in your life on a day-to-day basis, emotions are deeper set than what feelings are. Feelings are just a surface level thing. And so let me dissect both of these for you, because this will be a shorter episode, but I'm going to go straight to the point, straight to the direct nature of exactly what we need to do for you here, because People say to me all the time, oh, but Matt, my thoughts go crazy and I overthink everything, and oh, I just wake up and I have these feelings and this and that. And it's like, I'm not promising you that this is going to change your whole life when it comes to that, because this is why I talk about emotions on a deeper level. That's what's going to change your life. But for people who get so caught up in these things, and then you go to therapy and counselling, you get management techniques for certain thoughts, and see that thought floating down a river, and it's like, oh, drop me out. Leave it. No way. No way. I mean, I've said this before, but if I was to monitor all my thoughts all the time, it'd be like the Amazon rainforest before I knew it. It'd be everywhere. So that's not the answer. I'll share with you what can be maybe and potentially for you a more profound answer that can be light, that can be fun, that can be enjoyable for you as well. Because when it comes to your thoughts, like I said at the start of this particular episode, there are qualities to our thoughts, qualities. And when you change the nature of these qualities of your thoughts, you change the whole game. So you see, have a thought now. Let me give you a bit of coaching on this podcast now. Whether you're with me on YouTube or Spotify, this will work for you. Tell me, and tell it back to the screen, tell it back to your earphones, whatever it may be. Tell me, what's a particular thought that you tell yourself that you have regularly? Something that you might say to yourself. And then that triggers, a thought within your mind. What's something that you say to yourself regularly? I'm not good enough. I can't do it. Or what about if? Yeah, one of those ones there. You got it? Cool. And you see, with that particular thought right there, I want you to do a little favour for me. Notice a few qualities of how you say it. Say it to yourself again. Say it again. Say it again. Cool. And notice, how do you say it to yourself? Do you say it in a loud tone, or do you say it quite quiet? Do you say it quite slowly to yourself? Or do you say it and do you speak quite fast? And do you say it in like a lower pitch, or do you say it in a higher pitch? I'm not going to do that again, by the way. Notice those three qualities of the way that you say it, okay? Is it loud or quiet, fast or slow, high or low? Notice it. And if you've got that pen and paper, write down, what is it that you do? What one is it that you do for that particular thought? Now watch this. With everything that you've wrote down, let's say you wrote, I said it in a quiet tone, slowly. Oh no, I can't do this, in a low voice. Quiet tone, slowly, low voice. Do the complete opposite now. Say it to yourself really loudly, really fast, in a high-pitched tone. Do it. Go. Do the same thing. Go. Say that exact same word to you in a loud pitch, high, fast tone. Go. And see, what are you noticing right now? You're probably smiling. You're probably going, oh my God, what on earth am I doing here? Or you're saying it in your head. And what's happening? It's not producing the same emotional effect as when it happens when you deliver a certain information in other ways. When you change the quality of the way that you deliver the information to your brain, it holds a different part within you emotionally. Remember that. People spend bloody hours monitoring that thought, and the whole time listen to my voice tone right now and the way that I'm delivering it to myself and the quality of my voice, because what if this, what if that? If I change that, I told you I'm not doing that again, but if I change that completely in my nature, I change that completely in my way there, what I'm doing is completely changing the way that that thought, that particular self-talk is being represented within me. And when you do that, you change it completely. You change it completely. Change the quality, you change the emotion attached to the thought. This is why thoughts and feelings, nothing. If you work with, let me rephrase that. If you have worked with me, you know I spend a really detailed session going through this with you and really ripping these things open and showing you demonstrations and doing them with you on the sessions to really get this into you, because thoughts and feelings are fickle. They're like an unloyal servant. You know, I talk about emotional state all the time. Building an empowered emotional state within you that uplifts you, that makes you feel energized, that makes you feel vibrant, that makes you feel excited. Guess what? Do you think a feeling comes with that? Or do you think like, my body's just completely dead? No feeling. Of course there's a feeling that comes with that. There's an energy, there's a vibrancy, there's a love, there's a passion, there's a drive. You can probably hear it in my voice right now. There's a feeling that comes with this. People are looking for the absence of feeling. Well, guess what? There's only one type of person who has no feeling, and they live 6 foot under at a graveyard. They haven't got no feeling anymore. The rest of us, we're going to feel something. It's simply a case of 1, what are you focusing on? And 2, what are you channeling it to mean? Because as you listen to me right now, notice the feelings that you've got. Notice the feelings, and what I mean by feelings is the physical sensations that are happening within you. But see, you're not aware of your backside on the chair or your feet on the floor until I just said. Now you are. Now you can feel your foot on the floor, or you can feel your backside on the chair, because now you've brought your focus to that particular feeling. We spend ages obsessing over, oh, what's that bit of heart rate? What's that little bit of, oh, what's that in my shoulder? Oh, what's that feeling there? The only reason you're doing that is because you're searching for certainty, control, and safety in that particular area. Well, if you want to do that, listen to my other stuff, go into a deeper realm of really taking control of the emotional side of things, and you'll deal with all of that. But if you just want things on the surface, actionable things on the surface, do this. Change the qualities of your thoughts simply by what we said. I put it in simplified ways here, but they're simplified ways that work every single time. And when it comes to your feelings, well, you can either focus on a different feeling or watch this. Watch this, ready? Some of you may go down the gym, or you may exercise, or you may go for brisk walks, or you might do anything of this. And people say to me all the time, oh, you know, I have anxiety. I'm like, okay, once I move past all that, okay, why do you think you have anxiety? I have these feelings. What feelings? Well, I have the feeling of, you know, my heart starts racing sometimes, and, you know, I get shortness of breath. Okay. And feel free to do this right now. Stand up and do 20 star jumps. Go. Stand up and do 20 star jumps right now. Do you think your heart's going to start racing? Do you think you're going to feel a bit short of breath? Damn right you are. So how on earth can we tell ourselves that this feeling means something? You can't. What's a feeling you want to feel more of? Oh, I want to feel calm. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel this. Okay, cool. And how do you do that? Oh, well, normally I have to go to someone for reassurance and do this and do that. No, how do you do that? Oh, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you one thing you do. You, 1, are not obsessing over things that are completely without your control. And 2, you are actively, hear me on this, actively taking control of what you're doing with your physiology. In this moment now, if I asked you to, ready, do this with me. 3, 2, 1, hold your breath, go. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now notice the feeling that sits within you. You have more of a relaxed feeling now. Hold your breath. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The feeling within you is completely different now to where it was maybe 60 seconds ago. Why? Because now you're not looking for feelings. You are actively taking control of the feelings that you want to experience. And when you do these things, you start to create a shift in the way that thoughts and feelings are represented within you. Now, let me come back to this. Is it my recommendation that you spend all day, every day doing these 24/7? No, because it's almost like trying to peel the batter off a chicken ball and convince yourself you're losing weight. But everything about what I do is about taking emotional control on a deeper level. But I also just want to give you some day-to-day actionable things. That's where this particular episode is coming from. Because when you change the qualities of certain emotions and certain feelings, you change it completely. When you think about feeling anxious, your body's tight, your shoulders are up, you might be looking down. Cool, do the opposite. That's what I did there with you. I controlled your breath. You naturally relaxed a little bit more, your body loosened. You probably may have looked up or just taken your time. You produced a different feeling within you. Thoughts and feelings are fickle. Change the quality, you change the emotional path and everything else that you feel as a prerequisite of that. As a result of that. If you're trying to obsess over these things and getting so caught up in it and this and that, what are we doing? What are we doing? If you're actually going to use that energy, then use it in a worthwhile way of trying to create a bigger emotional shift. But there's a reason that this podcast isn't going to go on much longer, because it doesn't need much more overcomplication. It's very, very simple. Become aware of the qualities, change the qualities, act from that place. The quality of when I have that particular thought is I say, oh, what if this? I say it in a low volume, I say it slowly, and I say it, with a low tone to me. So if I do the complete opposite and I put my voice up here and I do this like this and I still try and say the same thing to myself, guess what? I'm not going to produce the same emotion. Secondly, with that feeling, I notice that I'm doing this and I'm scanning for this and I'm scanning for that. If I just 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're taking control of that feeling, you're redirecting it into a completely different way, and all of a sudden now you are taking control of your biochemistry. You're taking control of your nervous system as opposed to certain feelings popping up. Because like I said, you have any feeling in the world. Your backside on the chair, your feet on the floor, You might be aware of you're frowning a little bit right now if I've said it to you. You might be aware of the sun on your neck, depending on where you're listening to this around the world. You might be aware of your arm resting on something now. All of these feelings are there all the time. It's just a case of what have you trained yourself to focus on, and therefore what have you trained yourself to give the meaning to all the time. They are so fickle. And as I say, if you've worked with me or if you're planning to work with me, I do a particular session around this where I add some emotional bits on, but I get really involved in this and you really experience the shift where you go, why on earth am I ever getting caught up in those things again? Change the quality, you change, and you can change, sorry, on the punchline he messed it up. Change the quality of the thought or feeling, you change the emotion completely. You try and obsess and make it into something bigger than what it is. It's not, trust me, it's really not. That's why I spend a very minimal amount of time actually focusing on thoughts and feelings. But I see so many people say about it, so many people are outreaching to me, oh, my thoughts are strong, they're this, they're that. They're not, your just delivery of it is strong. That's it. If I said to you, leave off, that's very different to leave off. I just changed the quality of the way that I delivered it to you. Start changing the qualities of the way that you deliver your feelings and emotions to yourself. You'll really see how you really are in control of these things, and you'll change the whole trajectory of the way that you feel and the emotions that you experience. That's it, guys. That's the podcast. That's the episode. No more needs to be said. There's going to be a lot more coming from me in the very near future. Stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're tuned in, because you are not going to want to miss what I've got coming up in a few weeks' time. Episode 50 on here and episode 100 on my 10-Minute Tuesdays. I'm going to coincide them both. Do not miss it. It's going to be a huge one. Have a great one, guys. I look forward to seeing and serving you soon. It is time to elevate your mind. Take care.